Well, it's the next day, about 9:30 in the morning. He came, finished that little stretch there, but they didn't have to start this because I wound up starting it last night at about 9:30. Read the manual, it didn't look that hard. Got it going. It was 3 degrees at 3 o'clock this morning, so I wanted to get a jump on starting to heat this floor. And you can see the temperature coming out is right around 110 coming through, and the return temperature right now is 70. But remembering that some of the hot water comes back up and around because we're trying to get it so that the condensation isn't as bad in the boiler. But you can see, so here's a typical feed temperature at 72, and right now here's a return temperature about 62. So it's actually starting to, even though it's really cold outside, the floor is actually starting to feel quite a bit better. Last time I was out with the laser, which I left in the house, the floor was hanging around that 34 to 39 degree mark, depending on where you looked. This is super quiet. You're never even going to know this thing is running. But the boiler is on and has been for, 12 hours now. And I think we'll run for probably the next 3 or 4 days without ever stopping. When it's warmer, I can put silicone around that. There's just no point right now. It won't stay. It's too cold in here yet. But it's supposed to be in the 40s for a little while this weekend. So I think that's when we'll do that. But had a bit of a scare. I screwed up my glycol mix. I went with what the guy on the video said and what the guy I talked to said versus reading the version of propylene glycol that I bought. So I'm actually only got protection down to about 10 degrees. So there's the exhaust, but it's also the intake on the back side. So because of that, I figured I better get that started last night since it got to 3 degrees this morning. But it all worked. And then one of these days I'll go pick up 5 more gallons of the Cryotech and I'll just pump that out, and that'll bring me to 62% or 62.5%, which will give me much more protection and should still be pumpable, because it does come down to, I got to be careful that it doesn't get too thick or the boiler isn't going to like it. But right now it's running. It's already noticeably different in here. You can see your breath, but not like it was. So maybe by the end of this weekend you'll actually be able to work in here. Gonna lose some money, heating that ceiling because there isn't one. Just heating the roof tin, but a couple $100 right now to be able to work in here is worth it, I think. So yeah, boy, this has been one expensive project. This really got out of hand quick. And boy, having a plumber come in and help isn't free either. But they just did a neater job, faster and better than I was going to. And I really like these crimp connectors they used. There's an O-ring in there, and then those get crimped down with a big machine. So no, it's just better the way they did it versus how I was going to do it. So it always sucks writing those checks. I hate writing a check for something that I could possibly do, and if it was warmer and I had more time, I would have done it. But no, we just needed this to work now because it got cold a lot faster than I had hoped for. But no, it's working.